In the winter of 1971, as tensions between India and Pakistan escalated toward full-scale war, a quiet storm was brewing far away from the public eye, deep inside the operations room of the Indian Navy. This is the story of one of the boldest naval strikes in modern history, a mission executed in total secrecy, a mission that changed the outcome of a war in a single night. This is the story of Operation Trident, the Indian Navy's daring attack on the port of Karachi. Our story begins in early December 1971. The Indian Navy's Western Naval Command, headquartered in Mumbai, was under heavy pressure. Pakistan's most crucial military and economic asset, its port city of Karachi, was heavily guarded and considered untouchable. It housed the headquarters of the Pakistan Navy, major fuel reserves, naval warships, ammunition depots, and vital supply lines. If Karachi fell, Pakistan's war machine would be crippled. But reaching Karachi was almost impossible. The waters were heavily mined. Radar coverage was strong. The Pakistan Navy operated American-supplied ships, including the deadly USS Diablo submarine, and believed the Indian Navy would never attempt such a risky operation. But the Indian Navy had a trump card: small, incredibly fast missile boats from the Soviet Union. These were the Osa-class missile boats. They were tiny compared to destroyers, they lacked endurance for long-range missions, but they carried the powerful P-15 Styx anti-ship missile, each capable of destroying a destroyer with a single strike. The challenge was that these missile boats were designed for coastal defense, not open-sea offensives. They had short range, limited fuel capacity, and almost no onboard radar. Using them against Karachi, hundreds of kilometers away, seemed unrealistic. But the Indian Navy refused to accept limitations. Commodore Babur Ban Yadav and a selected team of planners came up with a daring idea: tow the missile boats close to the target using larger ships, supply them at sea, extend their radar coverage through support vessels, and then unleash them at night when the Pakistan Navy least expected an attack. It was a plan filled with risk, and exactly the kind of audacious thinking that changes the course of a war. On December 3, 1971, Pakistan launched preemptive airstrikes on Indian air bases, officially beginning the full-scale Indo-Pak War of 1971. This attack gave the Indian Navy the legal and moral clearance to launch offensive naval operations. Within hours, Operation Trident was approved. The strike group, called the 25th Missile Squadron, included 3 Osa-class missile boats, INS Nipat, INS Nurgat, and INS Veer, supported by 2 large frigates INS Kiltan and INS Catchall. Together they formed a deadly formation known as the Killer Squadron. Their goal was simple but incredibly dangerous: penetrate deep into enemy waters, destroy Pakistan's naval power in Karachi, ignite fuel depots, and return home before Pakistan's air force could react. On the evening of December 4, 1971, the strike group began its silent journey from Oka. Communication was restricted. Lights were switched off. Radar signatures carefully minimized. The sea was calm. The sky dark. The Indian Navy had waited decades for a moment like this. At around 10:30 p.m., INS Nurgat picked up a radar contact just south of Karachi. The signal was strong and steady. It was a warship. Without wasting time, Nurgat locked on and fired a Styx missile. Within minutes, the target exploded into a ball of fire. That ship was PNS Khaibar, one of Pakistan's most advanced destroyers, believed to be unsinkable. Yet a small Indian missile boat, 1/3 its size, had destroyed it with a single missile. The shockwave of the explosion wasn't just physical, it shattered the confidence of the Pakistan Navy. Only moments later, another radar contact appeared, this time the minesweeper PNS Muhafiz. INS Veer launched its Styx missile in a swift, calculated strike. The missile hit directly, breaking the ship into 2 and sinking it within minutes. Pakistan Navy's defensive line was collapsing faster than anyone had imagined. Then came the most dramatic part of the mission. INS Nipat detected a much larger, high-value target, PNS Shah Jahan, a major destroyer. Without hesitation, Nipat launched 2 Styx missiles. One struck the stern, the other ripped through the midsection. The Pakistani destroyer was left burning helplessly in the sea. But the Indian Navy wasn't done yet. The missile boats turned their attention toward the Karachi harbor itself. They fired missiles at the oil storage tanks of the Kameri oil fields. Massive fireballs shot into the sky. Flames reached hundreds of feet. The fuel reserves that powered Pakistan's Navy and Air Force burned uncontrollably for several days. Karachi's night sky turned crimson. The city plunged into panic. Radio stations screamed emergency broadcasts. Ships scrambled to flee. The Pakistan Navy realized, too late, that they were under a full-scale naval assault. By this time, Pakistan Air Force jets had been scrambled from Misroor Air Base. But by the time they reached the coastline, the Indian strike group had already turned back. They had achieved complete surprise. Not a single Indian ship was hit. Not a single casualty was reported. In one night, the Indian Navy destroyed 3 major Pakistani ships, burned fuel reserves worth millions, crippled Karachi's operational capability, and shocked the world by showing what small missile boats could achieve when used with extraordinary strategy. Back in India, the Western Naval Command celebrated the success, but the operation remained classified for many years. The world eventually recognized Operation Trident as one of the most successful naval operations after World War II. It was a mission executed with precision, courage, and flawless teamwork. The psychological impact on Pakistan was even greater. Karachi, Pakistan's heart of maritime trade, was terrified. The Navy shifted its ships further west. Karachi's port operations slowed. International shipping routes were disrupted. The attack also paved the way for another Indian Navy operation, Operation Python, just a few days later, causing even more damage. But the real heroes were the officers and sailors of the Indian Navy, people whose names are often forgotten but whose bravery continues to inspire. The night of December 4th became immortal in Indian naval history. That date is now celebrated as Navy Day in India, not to glorify war, but to honor the courage, strategy, and sacrifice of the men who risked everything to protect their nation. Operation Trident wasn't just a naval strike, it was a message to the world that even a smaller navy, when driven by strategy and courage, can change the course of a war. It was proof that technology alone does not win battles, determination does. And it remains one of the most daring examples of naval warfare anywhere in the world. As we reflect on that night, when 3 small missile boats silently sailed into enemy territory, fired the shots that shook a nation, and returned home unharmed, we are reminded of the extraordinary bravery of ordinary men who stood between war and peace. Their story continues to echo across the Indian Ocean, across naval academies worldwide, and through every sailor who wears the uniform today. This was the story of Operation Trident, the Indian Navy's secret attack on Karachi, the night the ocean burned, the night courage became history. Subscribe to the channel for more military, war history, and defense tech storytelling.